Before anything else, I just want to point out that Jumin is a Christian. I didn't know that. I'm just surprised. I mean, he may be one, but he's doing a lot of unholy things if you ask me, am I right? Alright, on a serious note, I played Jumin's route on the last week of my sem break to refresh and confirm my thoughts and some facts about him. So before it becomes a vague memory, let's dive right in here. Jumin Han, also known as Jumin, Mr. Han, trust fund kid, born with a silver spoon, soon to be CEO, cat mom, Ellie's mom, honey bunny, and in the fandom he goes by the nickname Daddy. Zen even calls him Jerk, which is what I've noticed not far from his traits, but I'll touch on that later. In his route, Jumin reveals that there are only 3 things that are important to him due to the people surrounding him while he was growing up. The company, RFA, and his father. We all know Jumin is the stoic, silent character that every reverse harem has. It's not a reverse harem if it doesn't have one of those. But Jumin's character exceeds that stone-cold character, because canonically, he was compared to a robot, to how unfeeling he is. In day 6 of Jumin's route, in Here Is Not Jumin's Diary, with Zen and Seven in the chat room, you'll see how surprised they are with this sudden change.
It's surprising. Guess that dude has emotions too.
Honestly, I really thought that maybe Jumin's a robot, since he never shows his emotions.
It seems comedic, but it shows how they see Jumin. A silent and serious character is very different from one that is said to be unfeeling. But Jumin is so far from that. It's honestly sad to see how good Jumin is hiding everything he's feeling, better than Sejong, because at the very least, Seven slips once in a while. While Jumin is so convincing that he himself convinces himself that he doesn't want anyone to be concerned about him. Going back to his route, Jumin himself was surprised with the change, saying how amusing it is that he said he's upset in the chat room when he talks about MC about his father. He doesn't share his feelings, he doesn't rant. Jumin has been keeping his emotions in check because he knows how unproductive it can be to express them.
I'm not angry. It's a waste of energy to feel so.
I said express rather than have, because at the very least he has those emotions. His father has been friggin' speed dating women and showing off each of them to his son, that even Jaehee states how uncomfortable Jumin must have been to be with all those women, you know, who only use his father. Jumin is still a person, so if he ever breaks down or cries, if he expressed an emotion even without anyone to see it, you know how painful or irritating it is. It shows how much it got to him. Now I know what you're saying, Jumin isn't an emotionless character, especially in Zen's route where you see him have fun while teasing Zen, and showing stubbornness while debating with Jaehee if you should go to Zen's house. Those, mga be, are him being himself. But if you notice carefully, Zen's route is very carefree, and Jumin had nothing troubling him. Zen calls him a jerk because we thought that Jumin reminds Zen of his brother, but in reality he does have some traits of being inconsiderate. As an example is when Jumin didn't want to go to work because he wanted to take a break and somehow, just a little bit, wanted to retaliate to his father's playing around with women. So he passes his responsibility to others, specifically his father.
You should take a leave of absence too.
I will not be able to handle the consequences if I do that.
My father can take care of the consequences. He's been fooling around with his new girlfriend.
If it's either me or Mr. Han who has to be fired, then who do you think it'll be?
Jaehee. That's true. Oh well, work hard. What an egocentric boss.
If you were in Jaehee's shoes, then he just got your hopes up. It was kinda comedic though, so I have nothing to complain about that side of Jumin. My point is, he only goes super stoic and cold when he's stressed and worried about something. He acknowledges that worrying won't help when a time comes when there's nothing he can do, so he suppresses the majority of what he's feeling, which is worry and distress. In Yoosung's route, when everyone was worried about Seven and Yoosung going to the hackers HQ, every member couldn't do anything but worry, rant, and wait in the chat room. While Jumin knows he can't do much to help, he says he worries but still adds that that won't do much or anything at all. He even explains how he looks at emotions, like worry or grieving, when talking about Rika's death.
I was very clear in my head from the very start that she'd never return, and I was able to conclude that grieving is only a waste of time and emotion.
Upon meeting you and loving you, Jumin says all those sweet, cringy, romantic things, makes jokes and laughs frequently, unlike before. You can see him make his emotions obvious at that point in the game. He changed because of you. But you wouldn't know if that was the first time that this happened because you only knew the guy for a couple of days. But it wasn't the first time Jumin had this major switch in him. No, I don't mean switch as in getting turned on or off. I mean switch as in change. Just to be clear, we're in a Jumin hand analysis. This is a Jumin zone. I know how you think. The first time he changed was with Rika. In the 9th day of Jumin's route in 7 story mode, 7 had a conversation with V saying,
I feel like Jumin is a bit excited right now. Do you remember how Jumin changed a bit when he was with Rika and laughed a lot and made a lot of weird jokes? Compared to then, he's way more excited or agitated. I guess you can say. Everyone's having a hard time keeping him in control.
And since this is a conversation between 7 and V only, MC in the story would have no idea about this. But you do. Why is that important, you ask? Because it shows why he really is in the deep root. I want to explain further on this on another video, but to simplify, the people that are in the deep roots are those that are very affected by Rika's actions and existence. Well, actually not just Rika, but her and V. Now I want you all to remember that Jumin was a lot more involved with V and Rika compared to the others, except Sejong. Because 1, he was a close friend with V and Rika, had an unrequited love with Rika. I hope it wasn't mutual. He's V's childhood friend and they all hang out frequently. Proof is this picture of them together somewhere. Maybe not frequently, but based on the picture, they get together outside business of the RFA parties. Aside from V, he's the second person closest to Rika. It's not Yoosung, but I'll explain that in my analysis of him. When Rika didn't want to tell V something, she'd tell Jumin, which is exactly what happened on the day 10 first story mode. That's the same scene where she asked Jumin,
If I met you before V, do you think we would have ended up together?
Now, before we go anywhere else, let's think about it for a while. What would happen if Rika ended up with Jumin instead of V? I mean, Sally's death triggered Rika to create a world without pain, but what if Jumin was her lover?
I suggest you let your dog go through surgery. No, I don't think that's necessary.
No, let's do it.
No, but...
There's the doctor, there's your pet, and I got money. Bam! No one dies.
He could have locked her up in the apartment like what he did to us. You know, Sally might have lived if Jumin was with her. V wouldn't be blind, there wouldn't be mint eye, Sejong would have stayed with Seiran, who wouldn't be drugged and brainwashed and get the F out of their mom's friggin' house. And yeah, the RFA wouldn't have probably exist. Probably. But you know, it's their happiness over yours anyway, so let me give you a few seconds to sink that in your brain. Okay, let's move on. In day 10, when V visited Jumin's house, Jumin admits to him... to V himself.
Whenever I see Elizabeth III, I remember Rika. I kept seeing Rika in that cat. There was never a time when I didn't think of Rika while looking at that cat.
Let me highlight the word never. Every time he mentions Ellie, he'd think of Rika. This is exactly the reason why Jumin would pamper Ellie. It's Elizabeth III. Shh, 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 shh. I don't care. And when Ellie ran away from him, he talks as if he was a man broken out of a long-term relationship.
I can't accept the fact that she tried to run away from me. I feel like all the love I've given her for years has gone to waste. I feel as if I've been betrayed. This bitter sadness that eats away a part of my heart.
It's not something you would think of for a cat. I know what you're saying. He didn't see Ellie as a normal cat. And yeah, exactly, that's the saddest part about Jumin. If you think about it, we see Jumin in every route talk about Ellie. We and all the other members are visualizing a cat. But in his mind, he's seeing Rika. He's trying to project Rika in that cat that she entrusted to him. And it's just sad how often and in every route, we can see how broken he is after Rika being gone, and we didn't understand it because on the surface, we just see him being obsessed with his cat, when it's actually a way to cope with Rika's disappearance. Like I said in Zen's character analysis, I assume Jumin has some adjustment disorders. It shows that he still can't let go of the fact that Rika couldn't be his and will never be since she's gone. And if you think that this has no connection to each other whatsoever, just listen to what Jumin says to Ellie.
I gave you everything. My feelings, my affection, my love, and you deserve them all. You were more innocent than any other girl around me, and had no desire for fame.
That is exactly how Jumin describes Rika early on in his route. Innocent. Also note how he said any other girl, but he's talking to Elizabeth III. He understands that Ellie is a cat, but just like how we love these anime boys, Jumin disregards this fact and floods Ellie with every ounce of affection and love he wanted to give to Rika. Boom, think about that in every root, you're welcome. Sorry to have to cut it here, but this video will be very long if I continue, so I need to make a second part of this character analysis. I don't really want to separate it, but it's really a long video, and I don't want you guys sitting through a long video. Also, I don't want to edit a lot. Shoutouts and thank yous for Kyotosomo for voicing all of the guys here. He's busy with everything in his life, so I'm really thankful that he took the time to record all of that. And I jumped in voice acting. I've never done that before. Please forgive Jaehee and Rika's voice because I'm not really good at voice acting. But yeah, thank you so much for watching that. The next analysis is going to be Yoosung, so look out for that. So yeah. Milk. Corny.